and guests. I'm going to call the meeting to order at 9:36. And our first topic is election of chair. I hope you'll bear with me by allowing the second nomination to be clerk and then vice chair. So let's see if we have any nominations for chair.
Move that we elect David as chair.
I'll second that.
Are there any other nominations? I'm willing to wait a long time.
I've been waiting a long time.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
You have to poll David.
All right. That means I'll ask people individually. Janet?
I'm
Are you
sorry,
voting yes? Are you voting yes or no?
for you as chair?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sandy?
Yes.
Peg?
Yes.
And I guess I'll abstain. Thank you, folks. It's a wonderful privilege. I would like to see if I have any nominations for the job that everyone always wants, which is clerk. Am I allowed to nominate?
Sure.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, I'm going to nominate Sandy Hall for clerk.
I'll second.
I thought you might. You were a little slow off the mark there.
I was hoping.
Are there any other nominations? All those in favor? Let's see. Okay, if you're in favor, say yes. Janet?
Aye, yes.
Peg?
Yes. Yes.
I'll vote yes. Sandy?
I'm not voting.
Are you willing to accept this, Sandy?
Yes, I told you I would.
Yeah, you're showing as much enthusiasm as I did. All those, okay, so we have 3 in favor, and this is carried. So now I would entertain a motion for vice chair, and I will note, before anyone tries to nominate Janet, that I think she's got a question about her availability for that role. I may be incorrect on that, Janet.
I don't think it's possible.
Okay,
Because of
so
this.
are there any nominations for vice chair?
Nominate Peggy Rose.
And I'll second that. Are there any other nominations? Okay, I'll go individually. If you're in favor of Peg as vice chair, Janet,
Yes.
Sandy,
Yes.
and I'll vote yes. Peggy?
Yeah. Yes.
I love it. We have a unanimous vote.
Just I'm getting off the hook.
Okay. So we have our officers for the year that we are now in. Now I'm going to open it up to public comment. Going once, going twice. Okay. And one of our difficult topics, approval of minutes. Peggy, I got to turn to you.
Okay. I've been here for a while. I'm going through. I know we don't have as many as you had listed on the the agenda, but it's a matter of finding them. So between now, I'm going to stay after the meeting's over so I can start plowing through what you have on the agenda and what I know we have.
Yeah, if anyone's records are different, those are the meetings that I could not find that we had approved.
Mhm.
If your records show differently, please let me know and I'll let Peggy know. And Sandy, let me ask you, are you going to be able to take the minutes from this meeting forward?
I can do that. Yeah, as long as we continue on the virtual meetings or recorded meetings, just so that I can go back over them.
Okay, I'll work with Channel 17 and with the town administrator's office. I don't think anybody's expecting any changes to remote meetings for quite a while. So I suspect it will not be any problem to be recorded.
Good. That'll help.
Okay, and Peggy, and I'll work with you. Let's see what we can get on for next meeting.
Okay, yeah, I hope to have it, I hope to have it settled way before then, but then again,
Okay, report on the inspection by the structural engineer. I may backtrack a little, particularly since that's what Linda said she was interested in. We're making good progress. In July, I found out that the town administrator and town engineer were still unable to make progress on this, you know, whether due to COVID or whatever. It just simply, I was trying to move it forward. I talked to Griffin Ryder and I said, would it be okay with him if I tried to locate someone to do this work for the article that we're funded under CPC funding? Griffin gave me the go-ahead, and I've been giving this person credit on numerous occasions because she's who got us started, and that's, I'm blanking out on her name again, our historic specialist over at the Cape Cod Commission.
Sarah Korjeff.
Sarah Korjeff, thank you. I keep blanking out on her name every time I'm in the middle of this meeting. She gave me the name of several structural engineers to look at the building. One of them is from Salem, Massachusetts. Structures North is his company, and he's done work on a number of Cape buildings. I reached him, and in between his commitments to other projects and his vacation time, he was able to get down here to take a look at the building. He gave us a report. I was at the meeting. Peggy, I think you were in the building then, and Sean Libby and Griffin Ryder also talked with him briefly. He basically, the structural engineer on that day, didn't want to spend much time talking to any of us. He just wanted to have his look, and he did a very good job. He reported back to us, and on the basis of his verbal report, we authorized him to do a preliminary design. He has now sent me a draft copy of it, and where we stand is that the historic part of the building, where there is the brick and stone foundation as opposed to the concrete, needs attention. And maybe that's understating it. He says the overall building looks very good, but the foundation needs work. He has now drawn a plan that shows a replacement of pretty much all the walls in the older section, leaving all the concrete walls in the new section, and replacing all those with a concrete foundation. That requires, at a minimum, supporting the building, and I don't mean think, and I don't fully understand this yet, I don't think it means lifting it up in the air. I think it means supporting it in place, digging underneath, and providing 4-foot walls for a new concrete foundation. A number of people, including both Griffin and Sean, say as long as we're going to be holding the building up and digging underneath, it would make a lot of sense, since we have to go down 4 feet anyway, to excavate down to 8 feet for to allow a full basement to be installed. We're all trying to get this done in time for Friday, to have a preliminary cost estimate of doing that work to CPC. It looks like we're going to be able to make that. The structural engineer suggested that we get a Cape contractor to give us some actual prices on the work on the drawings he was putting together. And we simply we don't have the relationship with anybody to get that done in time. However, it turns out that the structural engineer does have that relationship, and he has already gotten a contractor who's, I think he's from Bourne, I'm not exactly sure, but he was over at the building on Monday. Peggy, was there more than one of them? Did he have anybody with him, or was it just the one person?
Marie would know better than I, because she was the one who texted me and asked me if I knew.
Yeah, Marie, sorry I didn't let you know he was coming, but was it just the one person?
No, there were two gentlemen there. They mostly kept to themselves. Eric from DPW was there as well, but they walked around together without Eric and myself overhearing their conversations about it. But what I did know is he did say no, there was no anticipation of having to lift the building. So I can't confirm that. They were walking around outside a little bit, as well as just spending a lot of time in the basement.
So he is going to be giving his very rough cost estimate to the structural engineer. That is part of the information that the structural engineer will get to me supposedly no later than tomorrow, which will allow me to throw together a few numbers in the balance of the CPC application and get it in on time by Friday afternoon. Right now, that all looks like it's going to happen. We've ended up in preliminary conversations with the structural engineer, with Griffin Ryder and Sean Libby. His preliminary plans have been done with three options. The first is simply to do the 4-foot, this is essentially what he's calling the no build, which is the 4-foot walls and no additional basement area. Both Griffin and Sean are suggesting it will benefit the town to have additional basement area. His second option will extend the excavated section from the new section straight across, so that approximately half of the existing area that has no basement will now be excavated. And the third option will be excavate the entire area except for a small area up near the columns where he's going to, as he describes it, bench it, so to make sure he's not affecting any of the structural components that support the columns. So we're supposed to get prices for 3 different options. We're going to submit to CPC based on that. And I think we're getting some good information out of this structural engineer. Any comments or questions?
Sorry, one of those options, am I correct in that it includes a handicap, like wheelchair lift?
For all 3 options, I told the structural engineer our architect's report showed a Lula, low impact, low use elevator, and he is showing the pit for that elevator for all of the options.
Okay, thank you.
Sandy, Janet, anyone?
Oh, sounds great, David. Good work.
David,
Go
question,
ahead, Linda. Yeah.
which is, why would we want a 4-foot excavation if the plan for the building or the desire for the building is to move archives and storage space, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, into a basement facility, leaving the other floors for exhibits and office space? So why would we even want to put in a 4-foot excavation? Why don't we just go for the 8-foot, all of it excavation? If we only do 4 feet, does that mean we have to re-excavate a few years from now when we want to proceed with the rest of the project, which is to move down archives and storage and et cetera?
If
So
we
why would,
expect, I'm sorry, go ahead.
so why would we do 4 feet versus 8 feet, or even give CPC the option? What is desired to want by us?
I think that we should be going for the full amount. I also know that there are cost considerations in this town, so we should be aware of options. I think that I would like further input from the town staff before deciding what to present. But I think you're correct. I mean, if we don't, whatever we excavate now is all we're going to see excavated, I would say, for the next probably 50, but at least 25 years. So if we're going to do it, now is the time to do it.
So basically put the ask into CPC and don't put the 4-foot option in.
if you folks want to, I mean, let's just say that one option costs $500,000 and one option, and the most expensive, let's say the least expensive option costs $350,000 and the most expensive costs $1 million or more. Does that change anyone's thinking?
Not for me, it doesn't. Because we are woefully out of space in that building. And it is so cobbled together, so frightfully used at this point because there is no space. And if we don't pursue this, we're going to continue to have no space and stuff just piled up all over the place. So the building has had so little attention. I guess my druthers, even though I don't have a vote here, is to go for the big number, to get the project done rather than mouse bite it.
Okay, I want to hear from commission members.
I agree, we should go.
Janet, please go ahead.
Yeah, I agree, we should go for the full excavation. This is our chance to go for it. Just for Linda's information though, the original plan that the architects came up with for moving the archives down to the basement never meant the basement we're talking about. It was the basement that's under the newer part of the building where we've already got stuff down there. But it's not, I mean, it's space, but it's never been really efficient or useful space. But that, you know, that's where it was going to go. But I think this is a great opportunity to do it right.
Okay, let me go to the other two members. Sandy?
Do we still have money in CPC?
The original article is $130,000. The structural engineer's work to date is less than $15,000. There will be additional design work, but we're still going to have roughly $100,000 that we will ask that be considered towards this larger project.
Okay. It probably does make more sense to do it now rather than do it later. It's just, you know, we all know the financial stresses of the town, and it's kind of tough to ask for that kind of money, but it was 2 years ago and it's probably going to be 2 years from now. So probably makes more sense to just go for the whole thing.
Peggy, any comments?
No, I'm in agreement with everybody. We've been sitting in the back of the bus, so to speak, for too long.
Okay, I'm taking at the moment a sense of the board that we should strongly go for the full option, which is maybe option 3 in the report. Do you want to leave it as a sense of the board, or does anyone want to turn that into a formal motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
One at a time.
Okay, again, I guess for all votes, we have to do it one at a time. Janet?
Aye.
Sandy?
Aye.
Peggy?
Aye.
And I'll add my aye to it. So I will be indicating that to Griffin and Sean, when we talk about this tomorrow, and I think it's already their preference. It may be expensive, but I think we go to CPC that way and see what happens.
It won't get any less expensive.
No, I know.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to call this the big spending Linda Sabula option. We are on tape.
Hey.
Okay. So that is the update on the structural engineer's design work. So if things don't go haywire in the next 2 days, I'll be submitting the application on Friday. And this looks like item number 6 is really the same thing. The status of the 2020 CPC funding application. I've got all the application materials. I've just got to finish putting them all together. One of the things I will be telling CPC is that Sarah Korjeff has also identified 3 Massachusetts grants that we should pursue for this work. I don't have the 3 right in front of me, but I do know what they are. And I will be, there is a section under the CPC application that asks about seeking other grants, and we will be attempting to do so. Marie, I may be pulling you into some of that. So I'm just giving you advance warning.
Okay, sounds good.
Any other questions on the CPC funding application? Okay, any old business? Anything new in terms of activities since we last spoke, Marie?
Yes, indeed. I have a couple things. We did have our last farmers market of the season on October 1st. Our total head count for the season was 2,000, well, just around 2,200 people, a little bit more than that. Many of them weekly visitors, despite the fact that we did have a shortened season and not as many farms this year. Columbus Day was the close of our museum season. Again, it was just the barn that was open this year. We were open for 12 weeks. We had around 200 visitors who all complied with our regulations requiring mask wearing as well as contact tracing. We did receive donations for entry rather than charging for ticket admission. And we did sell some gift shop items related to the farm. October 3rd was actually our first real event. And Duncan Berry led a group of 25 participants on a guided walking tour of Pine Grove Cemetery. We had a wait list for that event, so it looks like something that we're going to try again in the future because it was very well received. I did advertise that pretty much across the board, the Chronicle, the Cape Codder, Cape Cod Times, our website, as well as our Facebook page, the Captain's Row Facebook page, and the Cape Cod Museum Trail. And people were still calling me the morning of the tour wanting to go there. So
and then some showed up.
And then some showed up and didn't register. So luckily I planned for that with our cap of gatherings in outdoor spaces. There was a lovely article that appeared in the Chronicle of a review of the tour. In addition to the payment for tickets for that one, we also received quite a few donations from the participants on the tour. So it was really nice to see people engaging and being able to offer that to the community. And that's it.
Will there be any similar, people are still feeling very cooped up and looking for these type of activities. What's the chance to do any in the spring?
Definitely. I would say as soon as the weather cooperates, we might try to get one more in, maybe in November. It really just depends on availability and the weather. But we definitely want to keep this up in the spring, assuming we're not going to have indoor programs, at least for the first few months of the year.
Anybody have any questions? Okay, thanks, Marie. All right, approval of events, approval of bills. I don't see anything there. What else is on anyone's mind? Does anyone have anything else to bring up?
Oh, should we mention we're hoping that the gift shop can be open on the Saturdays between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Got to get together with Jane Chase first to figure out the ins and outs, but just another attempt to keep our name out there, and people hopefully this year are more into supporting their local businesses, whatever. So we'll let you know about that.
Thank you very much. Going once? What I'm thinking is the main topic we have now is to approve a bunch of minutes. I'm inclined to have another meeting to cover November and December, which rather than trying to squeeze it into Thanksgiving would be in one of the first 2 weeks in December. Any thoughts about that?
Sounds like a good plan.
Anybody got a calendar? What are the dates of the first 2 Wednesdays in December?
The 2nd and the 9th.
Okay, December 9th. How's that sound?
Perfect.
Okay, so tentatively, we will plan on, unless something more urgent comes up in the CPC process that I want to talk to people about, we're going to plan for our next meeting this Wednesday, December 9th at 9:30.
We done?
I think so. Anyone else going? Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, David.
Bye. Thanks for
Bye.
visiting, Linda. Thank you.